Welcome, everyone, to vpod.ai. Now, this deep dive is sponsored by Stonefly. They're your trusted solution provider and advisor for all sorts of things. Enterprise storage, backup disaster recovery, hyperconverged VMware, Hyper-V, Proxmox clusters, AI servers, SA, 365, that's a turnkey security appliance, plus public and private cloud solutions. Definitely check out stonefly.com for more info.
Absolutely.
So today we're looking into something that honestly sounds like pure science fiction. But based on the info we've dug into, it's getting real.
It really is.
We're talking about revolutionary air travel, stuff that could just completely change how we even think about distance. Our mission here is to use the material we've gathered to, really get a handle on this new tech and figure out what it might actually mean for all of us.
Right.
Just picture this, flying from New York to Paris, not in, 7 or 8 hours?
Yeah, the usual slog.
But under 1 hour, under
Yeah.
60 minutes. And apparently this isn't just some fantasy anymore.
No, it's grounded in some pretty incredible engineering that just hit a really major milestone.
Okay, let's unpack this then. Who's actually doing this? We're looking at a startup based in Texas, right? Venus Aerospace.
That's the one. And the big news, the reason we're talking about them, is they've successfully tested a completely new kind of engine, a revolutionary one.
And this engine, it has a name that sounds, pretty intense. The Rotating Detonation Rocket Engine? Can you, break that down for us? How does this thing actually work in simple terms?
Sure, yeah. It's quite different from a normal jet engine. Forget the spinning turbines, the sort of smooth combustion you usually think of.
Okay.
This thing uses continuous but controlled explosions. Tiny detonations happening over and over.
On purpose.
Exactly. They happen in such a way that they create this detonation wave. Think of it spinning really fast inside a kind of ring-shaped or cylindrical chamber.
Yeah, spinning explosion.
Yeah. And this spinning wave is incredibly powerful. It generates thrust directly. There are no complex moving parts like fan blades doing the work. It's almost like a super controlled, continuous fireworks show pushing the engine forward.
Wow, okay. A continuous fireworks show powering an airplane. That's quite the image. And the sources mentioned a really key practical point here. Unlike big rockets needing special launch pads.
Right. Huge infrastructure.
This design could potentially take off from just regular airport runways. That seems like a massive deal for, actually using it someday.
Oh, it's huge.
Yeah.
It basically tries to bridge that gap between, let's say, pure rocket power and the practicalities of normal airports and aviation.
And the people behind this, the founders, Sarah and Andrew Duggleby, a married couple apparently.
That's right.
And they poured, 5 years into this? Quit their jobs to chase this seemingly impossible dream. That takes some serious guts.
It really does. And the tech reflects that ambition. It's sort of a hybrid, isn't it?
Right.
Trying to blend the raw speed of rockets with the kind of accessibility we expect from jet engines.
Okay, now this is where my mind starts to boggle a bit. The speed, the potential speed they're talking at for this engine is Mach 6.
Mach 6, yeah. And just for context, for everyone listening, the Concorde, the legendary supersonic jet,
Right.
flew commercially around Mach 2. And even that took about 3.5 hours to get across the Atlantic.
3.5 hours, which felt revolutionary then.
Exactly. Now, Mach 6, that's aiming for that New York to Paris trip in less than 60 minutes. I think the sources specifically mentioned 55 minutes.
55 minutes. That's not just faster. It's a whole different category of travel. It changes everything.
It's a paradigm shift, absolutely.
And crucially, this isn't just on paper anymore, right? There was a recent test flight in New Mexico that seems like a really big deal.
Yes, exactly. It was a very short flight, only 7 seconds airborne.
Okay, 7 seconds isn't long.
No, but it was a full-scale test vehicle.
Yeah.
And it basically validated decades of theory in the real world. Pull some serious G's too, like 4 times the force of gravity.
Yeah.
It showed the engine could work under those hypersonic conditions. It moved it out of the lab and into the sky.
That flight validation, even for 7 seconds, that's pretty compelling. Still, Mach 6 carrying passengers from a normal runway, that sounds incredibly difficult. What about the hurdles? Is that early 2030s timeline they mentioned maybe a bit optimistic?
Well, the sources definitely suggest it's highly ambitious. I mean, yes, the engine concept works. That's proven now, kind of. But scaling it up safely, building a whole aircraft that can handle those speeds, the heat, the pressure,
Right.
and then getting it all certified for passenger flight by the early 2030s, that's a monumental climb. The test was vital, a huge step, but it's still, quite early in a very long road.
Okay, so challenges acknowledged. But let's assume they keep making progress. What does this mean beyond just, super fast flights for a few people? What else could this impact?
Well, one big thing is efficiency. This engine design is apparently something like 23% more fuel efficient than traditional rocket designs.
Interesting. So maybe cheaper access to space, more frequent launches, potentially?
That's definitely one possibility, yeah. And another angle is defense. You can bet the military is watching this very closely. Hypersonic capability is a huge area of interest for them.
Makes sense. And Venus Aerospace, their own vision includes a specific plane, right? The
Yeah.
Stargazer M4, designed for about, 12 passengers?
Yes, that's their target aircraft, aiming for that early 2030s service date. And significantly, this isn't just a garage project anymore. It's attracting serious money.
Ah, the investment angle.
Yeah, big tech companies, seasoned aerospace veterans,
Yeah.
they're putting capital in.
Which kind of signals that people who really understand this industry think this controlled explosion idea might actually have legs, that it could genuinely reshape how we move around the planet.
It shows real confidence, doesn't it, that this isn't just some engineering curiosity, but maybe, just maybe, a viable commercial path forward.
So, bringing it back to you listening, why should you care about a controlled explosion with wings hitting Mach 6? Well, because if this works, if it becomes even remotely practical, it could completely alter how we connect with the world. Distance might start to feel almost trivial.
And that really begs the question, doesn't it? If flying between continents becomes as quick, maybe eventually as routine, as catching a domestic flight now, how does that change things? Global business, culture, tourism, even where we decide to live, shrinking the world that dramatically. What opportunities does that unlock? And maybe what new challenges does it create?
It's a truly mind-bending possibility, all stemming from this revolutionary engine tech. Our whole idea of far away might be about to change.
Absolutely. And speaking of foundational tech you can absolutely rely on, remember Stonefly Solutions. For instance, they offer a 100 TB immutable and air-gapped SSO NAS, and that's priced at just $8,995. Worth checking out at stonefly.com.